They're auctioning off John Cena's legacy like it's a garage sale. The man who carried WWE on his shoulders for 2 decades, who gave everything to this business, who bled and sweated through injuries that would have ended lesser careers, and WWE's grand plan for his final match is a tournament. Not a carefully selected opponent who earned the right through years of building toward this moment, but a bracket where anyone can get lucky and stumble into the biggest match of their career. This is disrespectful. This is lazy. And this is WWE telling us they care more about creating content and selling tickets than honoring the career of the greatest wrestler of this generation. If you're not furious about how WWE is treating John Cena's farewell, then you haven't been paying attention to what this man means to professional wrestling. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly why this tournament format is a slap in the face to everyone who's followed Cena's journey. Saturday night's main event opened with the WWE Universe expecting a normal show, some good matches, maybe a surprise or two, nothing earth-shattering. But then John Cena's music hit and the entire arena lost their minds. Cena walked out with that familiar smile, that confidence, that presence that only legends possess. He grabbed a microphone and for a moment, just soaked in the reaction. 20,000 fans on their feet, chanting Cena, 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 like they have for the past 21 years. Cena's voice was steady but you could hear the emotion underneath. I've been thinking a lot about my legacy lately, about what I want my last match to be, about who deserves to be the man standing across the ring from me when I hang up my boots for the final time. The crowd was hanging on every word. Some fans were already crying because they knew this retirement talk was real. This wasn't a storyline, this was John Cena preparing to say goodbye. I've wrestled everyone. The Rock, Stone Cold, CM Punk, Edge, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Roman Reigns. I've been world champion 16 times. I've main event WrestleMania 5 times. I've had classics with the best wrestlers this business has ever produced. Cena paused, letting those accomplishments sink in. But I don't want to just pick my final opponent. I don't want to make that decision in a back room with executives. I want the WWE Universe to see the best superstars on this roster earn the right to face me. That's when Triple H's music hit. The chief content officer walked out with a massive grin on his face. He had a folder in his hand and you could tell he was about to drop a bomb. John, I've been talking with the board, with creative, with everyone who matters in WWE. And we've come up with something special for your retirement match. Starting next week on Raw, we're launching the John Cena Invitational Tournament. The crowd's reaction was mixed. Some fans popped for the tournament concept. Others were confused. Why not just book Cena against his greatest rival? Why not give him a dream match that's never happened? Triple H continued explaining the format and that's when things got controversial. Drop a comment right now, who do you think deserves to be John Cena's final opponent, and would they even make it through this tournament? 16 superstars. Triple H announced. 16 of the best wrestlers from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Single elimination. 4 rounds. The winner gets to face John Cena at WrestleMania in his retirement match. And John, you don't get any say in who enters this tournament. You don't get to pick favorites or eliminate people you don't want to face. This is pure competition. Cena's expression changed immediately. You could see him processing what Triple H just said. This wasn't what Cena expected. This wasn't what he wanted. Hunter, with all due respect, my final match is my moment. I should have some say in who, but Triple H cut him off aggressively. John, you said you wanted someone to earn it. Well, this is how they earn it. By beating everyone else. By proving they're the best option. This tournament starts next week and there's nothing you can do to stop it. The tension between Cena and Triple H was palpable. These are two men who've known each other for over 2 decades. They've been allies, enemies, tag partners, and bitter rivals. And now Triple H was essentially telling Cena that his opinion doesn't matter for his own retirement match. The camera caught Cena's reaction and it was telling. He wasn't smiling anymore. He looked frustrated, maybe even angry. But what could he do? Triple H is the boss. Triple H controls creative. If Hunter says there's a tournament, there's a tournament. Cena just nodded slowly, the reality sinking in that his farewell was being turned into a promotional tool. Now let's talk about why this is so problematic. John Cena has earned the right to choose his final opponent. Think about every other legend's retirement match. The Undertaker faced Roman Reigns at WrestleMania because that was the story. Ric Flair faced Shawn Michaels because their history demanded it. Edge came back and had his retirement match against Roman because it meant something. But WWE is treating Cena's retirement like it's a season of The Bachelor. Here are 16 contestants competing for the rose. It's gross. It's reducing one of the most important moments in wrestling history to a gimmick. And you know why they're doing this, right? Money. A tournament means multiple episodes of television with must-see matches. It means increased viewership. It means social media engagement. It means selling the narrative rather than honoring the man. Here's what makes this even worse: the tournament bracket was revealed on the Titantron and some of the names are baffling. Yes, there are obvious choices like Randy Orton, who's been Cena's greatest rival for 2 decades. Yes, there's Cody Rhodes, who represents the new generation. Yes, there's Gunther, who's the most dominant Intercontinental Champion in modern history. Those make sense. But then you see names like Austin Theory, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes. Don't get me wrong, these guys are talented. But do they have the history with Cena to make his final match feel meaningful? Do they have the legacy to stand across the ring from a 16-time world champion as he says goodbye? This is John Cena's retirement, not a random episode of Raw. And here's the really infuriating part: what if someone gets injured during the tournament? What if Cena's ideal opponent, let's say Randy Orton, loses in the first round to someone like Bronson Reed? What if the person who wins the tournament is someone Cena has no history with? What if his final match ends up being against someone he's never even feuded with before? That's not storytelling, that's chaos. Second question for the comments: do you think this tournament is a brilliant idea or disrespectful to John Cena's legacy? Because the wrestling world is divided on this. Let me break down what we know about the tournament structure because the details matter. Round 1 starts next week on Raw with 4 matches. The winners advance to Round 2 on the following SmackDown. Round 3 happens at a special Saturday night's main event in 3 weeks. And the finals? The finals happen at Royal Rumble, with the winner earning the right to face Cena at WrestleMania. That's 4 months of television dedicated to this tournament. 4 months of John Cena sitting at ringside or backstage, watching other people fight for the privilege of ending his career. Can you imagine being Cena? Watching match after match, knowing that your final opponent is being determined by brackets instead of destiny? It's psychologically torturous. And WWE is going to milk this for everything it's worth. Every episode will have Cena interviews. John, what did you think of tonight's match? John, who are you hoping wins? John, are you worried about facing this person? They're going to turn Cena into a spectator at his own retirement. Instead of building toward an epic conclusion, they're making him watch from the sidelines while others write his ending. But here's where it gets interesting from a storytelling perspective: what if someone unexpected wins? What if it's not Randy Orton or Cody Rhodes or any of the obvious choices? What if someone like Braun Breaker, a young, hungry, second-generation star, wins this tournament? Suddenly you have this incredible narrative of the future ending the career of the past, of youth conquering experience, of the torch being forcibly passed rather than respectfully handed over. Or what if it's someone controversial like CM Punk? Punk and Cena have history. Their rivalry in 2011 was legendary. But Punk is also divisive. Half the fanbase loves him, half hates him. Imagine the heat if Punk wins this tournament and gets to end Cena's career. The emotions would be off the charts. Part of me thinks WWE is hoping for a controversial winner because controversy creates conversation. Let's examine each bracket and predict what might happen. Bracket 1 has Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre in Round 1. This is brutal because both men have legitimate claims to facing Cena. Orton and Cena's rivalry spans 2 decades. Every major moment in Cena's career has Orton somewhere in the background. They're linked forever. Meanwhile, Drew McIntyre is the Scottish warrior who's been on an absolute tear lately. He's hungry, he's dangerous, and he wants that WrestleMania moment. My prediction? Orton wins this match, but it's going to be controversial. Maybe Drew gets screwed by outside interference. Maybe there's a dusty finish. Because WWE wants to keep Drew strong while advancing Orton to face Cena. But here's the twist: I don't think Orton wins the whole tournament. I think he loses in round 2 or 3 to set up a different story. Bracket 2 features Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. This is fascinating because it's current champion versus current champion. Cody is the undisputed WWE champion. Gunther is the Intercontinental champion. Both men represent excellence in completely different ways. Cody is the emotional storyteller, the third-generation star who finished his story. Gunther is the no-nonsense destroyer who's made the Intercontinental Championship mean something again. This match is going to be a clinic. Technical wrestling mixed with hard-hitting action. But I think Cody advances because WWE wants to keep the possibility of Cena versus Rhodes alive. It's the ultimate passing of the torch match, the man who represents WWE's past facing the man who represents WWE's present and future. Third question: comment below with your prediction for who wins the entire tournament, because I want to see if we're thinking the same thing. Bracket 3 has Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. These two have a complicated history with Cena. Rollins was part of the Shield that feuded with Cena early in their careers. He's beaten Cena before. He knows how to get in Cena's head. Meanwhile, Kevin Owens had that incredible feud with Cena in 2015 that elevated KO to main event status. Owens owes his career trajectory to John Cena. This is an emotional matchup because both men respect Cena while also wanting to be the guy who ends his career. I'm predicting Rollins wins this one because WWE has been building him as the locker room leader and voice of the voiceless, a guy who represents what's right about professional wrestling. Rollins vs Cena at WrestleMania would be symbolic. Bracket 4 is where things get wild. LA Knight vs Austin Theory. This is new generation versus newer generation. Knight is the charismatic talker who's finally getting his moment after years of grinding. Theory is the cocky, athletic phenom who's being positioned as a future world champion. Neither man has significant history with Cena, which makes their potential path to the finals interesting. If either of these guys wins the whole tournament, it's going to be controversial. Because while they're talented, they haven't earned the right to end John Cena's career through storytelling. They'd be winning through circumstance and tournament luck rather than through built-up rivalry. That's WWE's gamble with this format. Now let's discuss the elephant in the room. What if John Cena hates whoever wins the tournament? What if it's someone he doesn't respect? What if it's someone he thinks isn't worthy of this moment? We've seen Cena be political before. We've seen him protect his character and his legacy. Is he really going to put someone over in his final match if he doesn't believe in them? There are rumors, and these are just rumors from backstage sources, that Cena was livid when he found out about the tournament format, that he wanted Randy Orton to be his final opponent and WWE said no, that he pitched facing Roman Reigns one more time and Triple H rejected it, that Cena wanted control over his ending and WWE took that control away. If those rumors are true, and I have reason to believe they are, then we're watching John Cena's retirement being dictated by corporate interests rather than creative storytelling. WWE is prioritizing ratings and social media buzz over giving their greatest star the send-off he deserves. And that's heartbreaking. Here's my bold prediction for how this entire thing plays out. I think WWE has a predetermined winner already decided. I think this tournament is just smoke and mirrors to create drama. I think they know who's facing Cena at WrestleMania and they're using this format to build suspense. My guess? It's either Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton, with Randy ultimately winning to give us the final chapter of their legendary rivalry. But there's a part of me that worries WWE might do something stupid. That they might have Austin Theory win because he's young and they want to make a new star with Cena's retirement. That would be a disaster. Theory isn't ready for that moment. He doesn't have the emotional connection with Cena or the fanbase to make that match feel special. The ideal scenario? Randy Orton wins the tournament. Final match is Cena vs Orton at WrestleMania. They get 45 minutes to tell one last story. The match ends with Cena winning because champions go out on their backs, but legends go out on their shields. Cena shakes Orton's hand. They embrace in the ring. Every former rival comes out to salute Cena. That's how you honor a legend. That's how you say goodbye to John Cena.